Hi beautiful, my name is Shane and today I'm coming at you with an Easter inspired tutorial. You can't even see my ears. Should I just, nah, my dear. My ears were actually a huge part of the inspiration for this video. I saw these at work. I work at Forever 21 and they were selling blue ones, they had pink ones, and they had purple ones, but I really like these blue ones because they have a hint of lavender as they catch the light. So today I wanted to include blue and lavender in a makeup look and do a little fun spin on the Easter bunny. So if you want to see how I achieve this look, then please keep watching. Okay, so to get us started, I've already done a ton of prep work off camera. As you can see, we've completed one eye, so we only have to worry about this eye. And I've also done my face makeup, besides my contour, the blush, the highlight, but my foundation, my concealer, my powder, that's all done, and my brows are done. I'm gonna leave a link down in the description to my most recent Get Ready With Me that has my full face routine, so you can kind of see how I do it if you're not familiar already. But with that said, let's get right into the tutorial. Now because I already did my face makeup, my eye is technically already primed with the concealer, so we can skip that part and jump right into the shadows. The very first palette that I'll be picking up is from the Anastasia. It's the Modern Renaissance palette. Picking up the brush that is included in this palette, I'll be picking up this very first color called Tempera and sweeping it right underneath my brow bone. From the same palette, I'll be picking up Love Letter with the same fluffy side as well. I'm gonna sweep this in my crease and I'm gonna kind of wing it out a little bit. Once I have this pretty well blended, I'm gonna go back in with a little more of this color and just pack it on again and blend it back out. I'm just building up the intensity a little bit. Still using the same brush, I'm gonna go into my Makeup Forever Trio Custom Palette, and I have this really nice lavender shade, and I'm gonna sweep that right on my crease, same way we did that pink, but I'm just simply not bringing it up as high. Next, I'll be picking up two ColourPop colors. The first one I have here is called Fantasy. Now normally these shadows are applied best with your finger, the Super Shock shadows at least. The way that I'm about to use this shadow, I can't quite get in there with my finger. It's a very small space, so instead I'm gonna take this little tiny dome brush, which is the most dense brush that I own, and I'm just going to dip it right into the shadow and pack it on where I want it to be. So with this first shade, I'm going to, again, concentrate it in the crease, but I'm just going to, again, pack it on so we're getting some nice color payoff. But I'm concentrating it on my inner crease instead of my outer crease because we'll be going back in later with another shade to deepen up the outer portion. So don't worry too much about that. Just worry about getting a really nice pigmentation from this very first color. And the nice thing about these ColourPop shadows is they add just a little bit of sparkle. So I'm packing this on my crease. I just want to make sure that it does show in the end of the look. So I am bringing it up high, but once again, I'm just not bringing it up as high as we just placed that lavender shade. We're gonna do the exact same thing on the outer half, but first, I'm going to reach into my ColourPop palette by Too Faced, and I'll be picking up this blackberry color on a crease brush, and I just want to deepen out this outer corner just a little bit before we place our next shade. Then the next ColourPop super shadow we'll be using is called Dare. Same dome brush, again, just kind of smushing the product in. It's a very, very, very soft shadow, so I don't want to like swipe it. I want to be very gentle. Just pick up a little bit of that product. Same thing, just going right over that blackberry color we just placed. And where these two ColourPop shadows meet in the middle, I'm just making sure that they ombre into one another. So there's a nice transition. Next, I'll be picking up my Naked Skin by Urban Decay in the color Fair Neutral. I'm just going to put a little bit on my lid to begin with. And then going in with a smaller brush, I'm going to finish using the concealer to create our cut crease. Our line does not have to be perfect, but once it's blended and you're pretty happy with it, we'll move on to the next step. Going back into the Sugar Pop palette, this time I'll be taking this really soft pinky lavender called Strawberry Ice and packing this all over the lid where we just applied the concealer. Then I'll be taking this deep plum shade called Sugared Violet, and I'm going to smoke this out on the outer half of our V. So we're covering up a little bit of that cut crease because I just really want to cut crease more on the inner crease. So with the outer half, we're gonna deepen it up and smoke it out a little bit. Sometimes I'll use this dome side to first place down a little bit of color, and then I'll flip the brush over and blend it out. We're gonna work our way in just a little bit. So again, going into Dare, which was our outer crease ColourPop shade that we used. I'm going to put it right next to the Sugared Violet color. This I might be able to use my finger a little bit for. You just get such a nice payoff when you're able to use skin on skin with these shades. So I'm just very lightly patting where the two colors meet and then blending slightly inwards. And then again, the same thing for the lighter ColourPop shade. I'm first gonna try it with the brush. Okay, to blend it right up into that crease. Okay, once I'm totally happy with that ombre, we're moving on. This part is really tedious. So I wasn't really sure how to go about this, but I did come up with something, and I apologize for the amount of products that we're using. I always try to keep it down to like 1 or 2 palettes, but we're kind of jumping all over the place. So first I'll be picking up this Color Tattoo by Maybelline in the color Tenacious Teal. Taking a really small brush, I'm gonna start drawing a cut crease line and then winging it out and meeting in the outer corner. I know it sounds a little confusing, but I hope as you watch the video, it'll make a little more sense. Now that we have a general outline of our blue cut crease, we're going to be going in with different shadows and some face paint to also ombre this line, so it's not just one shade of blue. For the very inner, about third, I would say, I love this blue raspberry color so much, so I'm just going to pick up a little bit of it and just place it right over the blue line that we just created. The perfect thing about using this Maybelline Color Tattoo is that it makes it a little bit tacky. Eyeshadows easily stick to it. After we have the light blue on, I'm gonna leave the middle just with the regular Color Tattoo because it's a little bit of a darker shade of blue. But then for the outer third, we're gonna go into this dark blue face paint. And these have to get wet to be activated. So just with a little bit of water. Same thing, but with this face paint, I'm gonna go over the outer third of our line. I think I am gonna thicken up this outer part just a little bit. Okay, hard part is over. For our bottom lash line, to begin on that, I'm going to be taking my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk and lining my waterline and placing a little bit on my lower lash line and blending it out. Ooh, did you hear that stomach growl? I'm busy, girl. I'm also gonna take a little bit of this white and make a line right underneath our blue cut crease here. Next, I'll be picking up this little white pigment from NYX and packing this on my inner corner. And I'm also gonna bring it underneath my lash line a little bit to really open up my eyes. Next, taking an angled brush, I'll be going back into that blue raspberry color and creating a point in my inner tear duct to create a new inner tear duct. Then I'm gonna sweep a little bit of this lavender shade on my lower lash line. Then again, with the angled brush, going back into black or blueberry, blackberry. I'll be creating another point on this side right underneath that white line. Dust away any fallout as you go so you don't ruin your face makeup. Next, I'll be going into my Hard Candy liquid liner, and I'm actually not gonna do a traditional liner on this look. You'll see later when we apply the lashes, I'll go over the lash band, but we're using this for something different. In our very inner tear duct, right above this blue, I'm gonna create a black line. You can see it on this eye. So I'm gonna start and drag the line a little bit down so it's pointing. I can guarantee half of that was off camera. That was very hard to film. Next, I have this little nail art wheel full of tiny little gemstones, and there's these like pinky purple gems that I'm gonna use, and I'm gonna place 4 right on my inner tear duct. So using a tiny bit of lash glue, I'm gonna place a little bit on the back of my hand, and then using very fine point tweezers, I'm gonna pick them up, dip them in the glue, and then stick them right on. Two coats of mascara to my top and bottom lashes using L'Oreal's Telescopic. Using the same gemstones, I'm gonna add 3 more stones right on top of this blue line. For lashes, I'll be using these crazy lashes I got from my favorite prop shop called Joker's Wild. These are just called W Black, but they're like super long and really wispy, and they all go to one direction. So with a little bit of lash glue, I'll pop these on. Oh my god, I don't know if the camera got that. Well, there goes all my glue. So with any crazy lashes that have a really unnatural shape, you definitely want the glue to get tacky, or you're gonna have the worst time trying to get them to stick. So I went ahead and I quickly bronzed up my face. For blush, I wanted to keep the look very colorful, very bright, very spring-like. So I'm gonna be using this blush here from Milani in the number 8 Romantic Rose. Using a large fluffy brush, I'll just apply this on my cheeks. I wanna concentrate more on the apples of my cheeks since it's more of like a kid-friendly look instead of sweeping it up toward my temples. So just by smiling, I'm going to very lightly, in circular motions, apply this to my cheekbones. Now, once my lashes are tacky, I'll throw them on. So I'm gonna move on to our lips. So since we're going for a bunny look, this was my second attempt. I had created a Easter-inspired look quite a while ago. There were actually sneak peeks on my Instagram if you follow me on there. In this look, I definitely made a few tweaks, but in the last look where I made the bunny's mouth, or like the fat part of a face, I left my top lip exposed, and I just colored it in with the same lipstick that I used. I'm kind of thinking I want to try to cover my top lip with white as well. I would definitely recommend face paint for this. I think it would look a lot better. Unfortunately, the only white thing I really have to use is the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil, the same one we used on our eyes, so we'll just be using this. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to create 2 circles connecting to my top lip. So I think I'll start with my lip first. Yeah, so far I'm finding it so much easier to do it this way than I did the first way. So I filled in my lips, and then I followed the corner of my lips up and created almost a curly mustache. So now my next step is just to fill it in. If you're using a cream like I am, I would definitely set it with something. If you don't have a white eyeshadow, a transparent powder would work, which is what I'm gonna use. So I usually use my Airspun powder, so just taking a little bit of this, I'm going to take a flat shader brush and pack it on what we just applied. I'm gonna lightly dust away any extra. Okay, so for our nose, I just wanted a little cute pink heart nose. So I'm gonna take my angled brush. And there's this really pretty pink shade in here called Bubblegum. So I'm gonna pick this up and then start tracing out a heart on my nose. Once it's outlined, you can simply go ahead and fill in the lines. Just a little side note, I did wet this shadow to get a little more pigmentation. To define my nose, I'm gonna go right over the perimeter of the heart with my Hard Candy liquid liner. And then I'm gonna extend it from the tip of my nose all the way to the bottom of my top lip. Taking the same liquid liner, I'm gonna just take a little bit on the back of my hand here. And using the back of a makeup brush, I found I really liked smaller dots better. I'm just going to dip the back of this brush right into this liner and create 3 dots on either side of my mouth. For my bottom lip, I'm first gonna line it with the creamy Palladio lip liner in the color Raspberry. Then I'll be using two ColourPop matte lipsticks. The first one is from the collaboration with Hello Kitty, which is a milk bottle, and then I'm gonna top it with First Base, which is just from their regular line. And don't talk until it's dry, because you don't want to suck the light. So while that is drying, I'm gonna go with my liquid liner again and go over a last band and a little bit in. Just watch. I cannot forget, however, the piece de resistance, which I found for literally 89 cents. I found this like plastic buck tooth thing. And we're just gonna throw it on for pictures. I can't talk in it, I can promise you that, but it's a little flimsy. Oh yeah, that's cute. Okay, well, I guess this is the completed look. I can talk a little bit, but not much. And to be honest, the teeth kind of get in the way a little bit. So that is it, you guys, for my Easter inspired tutorial. I hope you guys loved it. I definitely expanded myself a little bit in this tutorial. I definitely thought it was a challenge. It took forever. I love how it came out, honestly. I think it's really adorable, and I definitely think you could turn it into like a little kid's makeup if you want to do something for Easter. You know, I definitely would leave out some lashes and maybe a little bit of eyeshadow, but I feel like you could definitely play with this look and make it your own. Please go ahead and send me your pictures from Easter. Tag me on all my social media. I would love to see what you guys are doing with your family and how you're celebrating, and I would love to see your makeup that day too, just saying. I hope you guys have a happy and a fun Easter, and I hope to see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye!